Right now, there are millions of teenagers across the world who are secretly heading toward a future they did not choose, and most of them don't even know it yet. Not because they're lazy, not because they're stupid, but because nobody ever sat them down and told them the truth about what this phase of their life actually means. If you are a teenager or you're raising one, the next 10 minutes might be the most important 10 minutes you invest this year. Stay with me. Here's something the school system will never tell you. The decisions you make between the ages of 13 and 19 will quietly shape the next 30 years of your life. The career you drift into, the friends you keep, the environment you grow up in, the way your parents treated you at home. These aren't just background details. They are the invisible architecture of who you're becoming. Research from Harvard Center on the Developing Child confirms that adolescence is one of the two most critical windows of brain development in an entire human lifetime. The first is ages 0 to 3. The second is right now, during the teenage years. So why are we treating this season like it's just about passing exams and surviving school drama? This channel exists for one reason: to give teenagers and parents the honest, research-backed conversations that school never had with you. We're going to talk about careers, environments, friendships, parenting, identity, and what it genuinely takes to build a life worth living. No fluff, no lectures, just the truth, structured in a way you can actually use. Your environment is not just where you live. It is what you absorb every single day without realizing it. There's a concept in psychology called environmental determinism, the idea that your surroundings actively shape your thoughts, habits, ambitions, and even your sense of what's possible. A teenager who grows up in a home where education is celebrated will unconsciously absorb that value. A teenager who grows up around poverty, violence, or constant negativity will often, not always, but often, begin to normalize those conditions as the ceiling of what life offers. This doesn't mean your environment is your destiny, but it does mean that if you are a teenager who wants more, you must become deliberately aware of what your environment is feeding your mind every day. Ask yourself, does where I am right now push me toward growth, or pull me toward comfort and stagnation? Jim Rohn, one of the most quoted personal development philosophers of the 20th century, said something that every teenager needs to hear. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This is not a motivational quote. It is a documented social phenomenon. A 2014 study published in the Journal of Youth and Adolescence found that peer influence during teenage years has a stronger effect on behavior, academic performance, and risk-taking than almost any other variable, including parenting. Think about that. The friends you choose right now carry more statistical weight on your future behavior than your parents' instructions. So look around. Who are the 5 people you spend the most time with? Are they building something? Are they curious about life? Do they push you, challenge you, support you? Or do they pull you into cycles that go nowhere? You don't need to cut people off cruelly, but you must be intentional. Your social circle is either an accelerator or an anchor. Here is a lie that millions of teenagers have been told. Just follow your passion and the money will come. That advice has misled more young people into financial struggle and career confusion than almost anything else. Here's what career psychology actually tells us. Long-term career satisfaction is not driven by passion alone. It is driven by 3 intersecting factors. Number 1, competence, what you are naturally good at and can become world-class at with effort. Number 2, market demand, what the world will consistently pay for. Number 3, purpose alignment, what creates a sense of meaning and contribution for you personally. Where those 3 circles overlap, that is where your career should live. Passion is important, but passion without skill is a hobby. Skill without market demand is frustration, and demand without purpose is emptiness. Teenagers who understand this framework early have an extraordinary advantage, because instead of drifting into whatever course everyone else is studying, they can make deliberate, strategic choices that compound over time. Let's talk about something that makes many people uncomfortable: the role of parenting in a teenager's trajectory. Research from the American Psychological Association shows that authoritative parenting, which combines warmth with clear boundaries and open communication, consistently produces teenagers who are more emotionally resilient, academically motivated, and better at decision-making. On the other side, authoritarian parenting, which relies on rigid control, fear, and punishment without emotional connection, tends to produce teenagers who struggle with self-esteem, who are more likely to rebel destructively, and who often carry invisible emotional wounds into adulthood. If you are a parent watching this, this is not an attack. It is an invitation. The way you speak to your teenager right now is becoming the voice inside their head for the rest of their life. And if you are a teenager watching this, understanding where your patterns come from is the first step to choosing which ones you carry forward and which ones you leave behind. One of the most damaging beliefs in modern culture is that academic success equals life success. It does not. But academic failure is also not a badge of honor. Education, when approached correctly, is one of the most powerful tools a teenager has access to. Not because of the certificate at the end, but because of the discipline, the exposure to ideas, and the critical thinking it develops when engaged with intentionally. The problem is that most teenagers experience school passively. They show up. They memorize. They test. They forget. The teenagers who extract the most from education are the ones who ask different questions. Not, what do I need to pass? But, how does this subject connect to the kind of person I want to become? Choosing the right course to study in university, or deciding whether university is even the right path, should be a deeply personal, research-driven decision, not one made because of pressure, status, or what your peers are doing. We will dedicate entire videos to this topic on this channel, because it deserves that level of depth. Let me leave you with this. There's a well-documented pattern among people who break generational cycles, whether cycles of poverty, mediocrity, or dysfunction. They almost always point to one turning point, the moment they became aware of their environment, aware of who they were spending time with, aware of the invisible stories they had absorbed from home, aware that their future was not fixed. That awareness didn't instantly change everything, but it started a process that compounded over time. You watching this video right now, this could be your moment of awareness. Not because this channel has all the answers, but because you chose, today, to spend 10 minutes thinking about your future instead of scrolling past it. If this video made you think, made you pause, or made you see something in your life differently, that's the point. Subscribe to this channel, because we are just getting started. Every week, we go deeper into careers, environments, parenting, friendships, and what it genuinely takes to build a life with intention. Drop a comment below and tell me, what is the one thing you wish someone had told you, or told your teenager earlier? I read every single one. The next video is going to be on the types of friends that are silently holding teenagers back, and it might be the most uncomfortable thing you've heard in a while. I'll see you there.